This is the long-belated homemade Tostadas episode, requested by subscriber Dawn Wright. Hey Dawn. And confession here, this is the first time I've actually had tostadas, much less made them. There's a lot of wonderful Mexican food and of various varieties here in Southern California. I've just never had tostadas before, and I've certainly never made them, so I think I did a pretty good job. And the one ingredient I regret forgetting at the market was avocado. I'm so bummed out about that. I really wanted avocado because I made 2 large tostadas, one for our vegetarian and vegan friends, and one with some stewed chicken breast in a chipotle sauce. And so one is completely vegetarian and or vegan, using refried beans that have no lard in it, and the other has some chicken in it. Actually, both have cheese on it, so I guess it wouldn't be vegan. One would be vegetarian, and one would be non-vegetarian. And I'll show you that in a minute. In addition to some shout-outs, a bunch of new shout-outs I wanted to get to. I thought this was the 99th episode on my channel, and lo and behold, I checked today, and the 100th episode was actually the episode with logos shunning the paparazzi, i.e. me. And so we're over 100. Tonight's episode will constitute the 101st episode, but at least a couple of my episodes were broken up into 2 different videos, part 1 and part 2, when my videos were shorter, so that would knock us back to 98, and this would actually be the 99th. And then for the 100th episode, I was planning possibly to do some sushi, and get it at a good sushi place and bring it home. But we'll see. That would be later in the week for new subscriber night, and also, as I said, 100th episode. So that's about all the news to report. Today was a pretty good day. I survived the octagon, and also I wanted to talk a little bit about, in terms of relationships, any kind of relationships, but particularly at least from the perspective of when someone goes into therapy or analysis, particularly in my case, psychodynamic psychotherapy. The concept in terms of relationships, real-life relationships, where you are actually connected person to person, face to face with the person with whom you're relating. I wanted to talk about the concept of intersubjectivity as it applies to this new model, and the old Cartesian theory was that I think, therefore I am. So if you have 2 people in a room, supposedly in a relationship, one person has a unique psyche unto itself, and the other person has their own unique psyche unto themselves, and through their cognitions, they exchange information and then act accordingly with each other. Well, in intersubjective systems theory, or intersubjectivity, the notion is that when 2 people are alone in a room, whether it's a therapist and a client, a parent and a child, 2 significant others, whoever, if you're really having a truly present, centered, connected moment, there are some conditions that must be met, and that instead of this is my mind relating to your mind, you recognize the little micro moments that pass between 2 people in conversation when they are connected and in the same room and looking at each other in the eye. happens there is in fractions of seconds, or at most just a few seconds, any adjustments people make non-verbally or verbally are not just cognitive thoughts that create actions for other people to relate to or to adjust to. That in those micro moments there is a third consciousness being created, where as I make an adjustment in what I say or don't say, in whether I do this or whether I do this, or whether I lean back or go forward, you see that in those micro adjustments, you see the other person making their micro adjustments, and the true relation is that both parties are seeking to understand what those adjustments are. I'm explaining this rather poorly, but I think it has application, especially in terms of doing something on YouTube, where I'm certainly speaking as if I'm talking to one person eye to eye, but I do not get the micro moment-to-moment adjustments, and so it's pretty much not a dialogue, but just me providing information, hopefully entertaining or good information. In any event, I was going to say I wanted to talk about that, and it looks like I have talked about it already. Also, I have a couple of things I wanted to show you, but first, I need something to drink. Just made some fresh squeezed limeade. That hit the spot. And as always, a nice bowl of watermelon. And then this is my version of Tostadas. Hope you can see that. I have the fried tortillas here, and this is the vegetarian one, so I have vegetarian refried beans in the bottom layer with some a 4 queso or 4 Mexican cheese blend that has been slightly melted. On top of that is more refried vegetarian beans, and then a mixture of cabbage and lettuce chopped. Then I made a very raw, crude salsa of just chopped little tomatoes and little bell peppers and a squeeze of lime. I have more lime here. This is the non-vegetarian version. The only difference is the bottom layer, in addition to having the cheese and the refried beans, also has some chicken breast that I stewed with some in a chipotle sauce with chipotle peppers. So that's what I have. I'm really nervous about this episode because I don't usually, other than pickles, I don't really eat a lot of crunchy foods on my episodes. And the fragile and crunchy nature of this is, I think, going to result in a very big but maybe entertaining mess. The main thing is whether it tastes good and sounds good, I suppose. So, I'm trying to figure out what to do. Oh, Locos is gone. She had her chicken and she's done with us. One subscriber sent me something very, very nice. It's heavy. I believe it's either white gold or sterling silver. That's called a Jerusalem cross, and it's a pendant, and it can be hung on a necklace or a chain, which I will be sure to get sometime soon. But that's just beautiful, and it's really heavy, and it's lovely. I think that's jade in the middle. So thank you very much. I'm very touched. Thank you. And then this is a picture. I've spoken in the past about various past relationships in my life, and more specific person or any specific name, certainly, but this is a picture of a very wonderful day back in the day in my life. My then girlfriend, we were at a Renaissance fair, and we found actually a very quiet area just to relax, and I just had a wonderful day back then. But I wanted to share that picture with you. That's her right there. I don't know if you can see that. Quite a lovely day. Okay. I promise we're going to get to food. Oh, and probably the subscriber who requested the Tostadas and very nicely and patiently waited, Donna Wright, she asked that I talk while I eat, so I don't know how much I'm going to be talking with all that crunchy stuff in my mouth, but I will probably revert to my more natural voice. Not loud, but a softer natural voice, probably like this, while I'm eating. But right now I wanted to do a little more than a few shout-outs to loyal and long-time subscribers and very new subscribers. And often I can't tell the difference, so I apologize for that. First off, a long-time subscriber and good friend, Andrea, I said it right, Andrea Lemming, and her boy, Elijah. Hey, Elijah, do your homework. Eli and I are new best buddies. Well, I feel that way. I don't know how he feels, but hey, Andrea, and hey, Elijah. Leanne Smith, I believe you're sort of new, and your posts have always been very kind and struck me enough to remember to include you. Welcome. Alex Kuhn, I think you're new. Hey, Alex. Sadat Nayel Ersoy, I hope I'm saying that close, and welcome. A really good new super friend is Disability TV, and what a really solid guy, and has very interesting things to say, and I'm glad to know you, so thanks for being here. Another very nice new poster is Pink Fairy. Hi, Pink Fairy. All your posts are so very nice and so very kind, and glad you chose to visit my channel from time to time. Who put you on the planet? That's what I want to know. No, that's the name of a subscriber. Who put you on the planet? It's pretty good. It's probably a quote from something that I should know, but I don't. It's hazardous. That's the subscriber or the visitor. Hi, it's hazardous. Snugglebear. Snugglebear. 74782. That username really works. I've given him or her a shout out before, but the ASMR YouTuber, I think you missed your first shout out, so right back at you. Sabrina Roaming Cat, maybe Sabrina Roaming Cat. Hello, welcome. Harlequin Skin, that's a really nice evocative name. I know what a harlequin is, and I know what skin is, but I'm trying to juxtapose them in a way that makes sense to my mind. I can't. This is probably a real name, but it sounds like a euphemism. Genitalita. Hi. This is the username of the week thus far. Girl Puke. Hey, Girl Puke. Sinji, welcome. Hey, Ranger Wars. Low reverts. Things are good. So cool. Glad you're here. From poetry to rap, solid. I owe you a solid. Alejandro Rivas, your birthday was, I think, this past weekend or very recently. So I just wanted to recognize that and say, hope you had a good one, and hope it's a good year for you. Milan Maratek. I'd assume you're Italian, but I assume many things, and often it's wrong, but welcome. The G-Man ASMR. Sounds like a tough customer that you'd want to have around when trouble was around. You'd want him on your side. Jesus Eusebio. It's either Jesus Eusebio or Jesus Eusebio. Christina Gastelum, another poster, fairly new, that I was impressed by her kindness enough to remember to include her specifically. Emma Sayers, hi Emma, glad you're aboard. This next one, it sounds Gaelic to my ears, but then I think maybe it's maybe it's spelling something. It says Ak 1N1, Ak 1N1, but the Ak is AYCH, as in all you can something, all you can H. And Justin Kim, my man Justin always loves the shout-outs. Hey Justin. And Christopherson L. Gotten a couple of nice comments from you, and welcome aboard. I think that's about it. The last thing I'll say, and then we'll get on to the food, 18 minutes in, is, coming up on the 100th episode, I was thinking about Nostradamus, who put out his prophecies back in the 1500s. He only lived to be 63, but he put out his prophecies in sets of 100 quatrains or 100 predictions, and he did a number of these sets, but they were always in groupings of 100. And I was thinking about my 100 episodes, and I just had a fleeting thought that, maybe, I don't know, I'm not Nostradamus, that's not what I'm implying, but maybe I've done what I was supposed to do with these 100 episodes, and maybe I should, I don't know what, move to something else, but I certainly enjoy doing these, but it seems like, 100 episodes, I don't know how much more there's, to know about me other than things that happen on a current basis. I've pretty much spilled my guts about a lot of stuff, and I've laughed and I've cried, and I've had good food, and I've had a lot of mishaps, and you've gotten to know Logos, and I was thinking maybe, Nostradamus's 100 quatrains were called centuries, a century being 100 years old. So maybe my century, as regards this, is completed. Not ended or stopped, but maybe it is consummated. Consummatum est. It is accomplished. But I suppose a more selfish reason for me sticking around is I just really like doing this, and I enjoy it, and I don't do anything else quite like this in the course of my day-to-day life, and also everyone has been so kind. I think With that, we'll switch to Tostadas. I'm very nervous. There they are. Oh, Tuesday is my octagon, my staff meeting, and it went well. Actually, it went really well, so, because, well, the main person who was supposed to be there didn't really show up, so, it was quick. So. All right, I'm whispering again. I can't stop whispering. I can't do this at work. I can't whisper at work. Okay, back to my regular voice. We'll try the vegetarian tostada first, and I'm going to squeeze a little fresh lime over that. Oh, in addition to the raw salsa I made, I also found some Mexican crema. I think that's how it's pronounced. Table cream, and it's just a very thick. It's something between sour cream and cream. And the recipes that I consulted said that it goes very well with this type of thing. So we'll see. Here it goes. My hand's shaking. I'm nervous. Okay, here we go. Mmm. Mmm. It's good. I waited all these years and I missed out on good tostadas. Mmm. Really good. Mmm. Well, the combination is really good. Not everybody likes refried beans. I haven't had them so much, so it's sort of a treat to me. The salsa with the lime juice and the crema and the 4 queso cheese blend, and the crispiness of this. It's crispy, but it's a little bit. It gives also. Mmm. 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 Oh, I'm wearing my Batman t-shirt because I felt like it. Mmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's holding together much better than I expected. As in many things in life, the preconceived expectation far exceeded in terms of a negative expectation all my fears. In other words, I should have been eating these all along. I'm going to switch to the non-vegetarian version to show you inside the chicken that was braised, simmered in the chipotle sauce. Has a nice sort of little afterburn there to it. A little bit more lime. Wow, that's good. I would imagine an authentic, and I'm at Mexican eateries fairly often. For me, maybe once a month, and I've seen people eat tostadas before. I just never, I always go for something else, but I bet in a restaurant they make them even better, and this is just my attempt, my first attempt, and so probably made by professionals is that much more wonderful. Wow, I'm really happy with this. Coming up on 29 minutes. A couple of subscribers mentioned birthdays coming up. I think it's next week, and on the same day, so I'll make sure to make note of that. The vegetarian version is very satisfying as well. Absolutely satisfying. If I didn't have this other one, this would be just perfect too. That was excellent. Watermelon. Boy, that goes well with those flavors. So, take a break for a minute, and getting back on the subject of intersubjectivity, they say that the possibility of forming a deeply intimate relationship, and maybe I've mentioned this before, if you're alone in a room with someone, whatever the relationship is, if you can maintain eye contact for a very short period of time, like as little as 7 seconds, you can have the intersubjective moment. You can have that moment when you're not only aware of what you're thinking about when you're looking at the person, but you start forming some conclusions about what they may be thinking about, and that will reflect in all kinds of ways in your gestures, in what you say, in your pauses, whether you smile, whether it causes you to tear up. And I like that model much better than the Cartesian model, which basically says, this is my mind, this is what the stuff is in my mind, I'll share what I want with you, you do with it what you will, and you can agree or disagree or say nothing, as opposed to two people recognizing that, I don't want to call it a mind, but that there is a vessel or a container that holds those micro moments between what people say. And I think that's important, at least important to understanding one's own relational style, not just between a therapist and a client, but also between people who are strangers and would like to get to know each other, or people who have known each other a long time and are trying to deepen whatever that perceived intimacy is. So I don't know if other people think about these things as not just as frequently, but just as think on them with such expectation of coming to conclusions. It's one thing that I feel that if I really set myself about understanding better, I can do better, and therefore maybe make the relationships that I currently have and relationships that I will have, make them all that they can be. So I don't know that that is particularly giving on my part or particularly selfish on my part, but it's just something that I think deserves consideration, and that's why I'm sharing it here with you. It's very nice and quiet here tonight. Okay, a little bit more of this tostada. Oh, the time is flying by. Either intentionally or unintentionally, I probably already put a number of people to sleep. I think I mentioned before, Logos doesn't like anything spicy. Well, I've made messes, much bigger messes with much less messy foods. So that's something. It's so nice to hear from new subscribers, and also a lot of older subscribers. People get busy and move on to other things, but it's always nice when they come back and say hello. So for those people who've done that, thank you very much. Tomorrow is Wednesday. Speaking of therapy day. This is so good after the slight spiciness of the chipotle sauce. feel I'm forgetting something. Well, before I couldn't stop whispering, and now I can't stop talking. Okay. I feel nice and relaxed now. It's sort of reverse ASMR. By actually doing the episode, I become relaxed. It's probably also that in the last 48 hours, I've only gotten about 6.5 hours sleep.